What's up, Crim Heist? Welcome to another criminology educational video. And for today, we will be discussing fire technology and arson investigation. By the way, my name is Sean Francis San Diego, also known as the Professor. So before we jump into our topic, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Professor, and hit the notification bell for you to be updated for my next upload. So for this video discussion, we will be discussing the dangerous behavior of fire. So dito sa dangerous behavior of fire, i-discuss natin kung paano gumagalaw or how does fire move. So i-discuss natin dito yung movement of fire, so kung paano nag-spread yung apoy sa isang lugar. So ito yung discussion natin. So first would be flashover. So for flashover, it is the sudden and dramatic simultaneous combustion of all solid materials in a room. This occurs in the free burning phase. It is the sudden burning of free radicals which is initiated by a spark or flash produced when temperature rises until flash point is reached. So anong ibig sabihin ni flashover? So for easy understanding, flashover is the continuous burning of all combustible materials in a fire scene, solid combustible materials. And si flashover nangyayari siya during the free burning phase. The free burning phase, ito yung phase kung saan all materials are burning in a fire scene or in a room. And the intensity of fire is at its peak. So yun po ang free burning phase at doon nangyayari yung flashover. Second would be rollover. For rollover, it is the combustion of accumulated combustible gases in a room. So ibig sabihin, ang rollover is the burning of combustible gases in a fire scene. So kung si flashover is solid combustibles, dito naman kay rollover is combustible gases or mga gases that are combustibles. Next would be backdraft. So for backdraft, it is the rapid and violent burning of heated gases in a confined area that occurs in the form of explosion. So this may occur as a result of inadequate ventilation. So for backdraft, these are burning of combustible gases that results to an explosion due to lack of ventilation. So anong difference ni rollover kay backdraft? Kay rollover, these are just combustion of accumulated combustible gases doon sa room or doon sa certain room or place. While for backdraft kasi, it is the rapid and violent burning of heated gas in a confined area at kaya siya nangyari is due to lack of ventilation. Next would be flash fire. For flash fire, this is also known as the dust explosion. So, for flash fire, this occurs when the metal post that is completely covered with dust going to be hit by lightning. So, ito yung mga combustible metals na napapalibutan ng mga rust or yung mga rather ng mga dust or mga alikabok which is heated by or which can be struck by a lightning. So, yun si flash fire. So, combustible metals naman yung pinag-uusapan natin. Next is firestorm. So, for firestorm, it is an intense fire during which rising air creates vacuum beneath surroundings air, rushes to fill the gap, and forms extremely strong winds and propagate the fire. So, for easy understanding, a firestorm is the spreading of fire through its own wind system. So, it is also a form of conflagration. So, firestorm is a form of conflagration. Next would be biteback. For biteback, a fatal condition that takes place when the fire resists extinguishment operations and becomes stronger and bigger instead. So when we say biteback, ito yung nagre-resist na or hindi na effective or efficient yung mga extinguishment operations na ginagawa ng mga firefighters to be able to pacify the fire. So for easy understanding, biteback is the fire it is not pacifiable anymore. The fire is not pacifiable anymore. Hindi na siya nagre-resist or hindi na siya nagre-react sa mga extinguishment operations na ginagawa ng mga firefighters. Next would be conflagration. Conflagration is an extremely large fire that consumes a quarter or half of a city or municipality. So, medyo malaking fire scene na to kasi it already consumes a quarter or half of a city or municipality. Next would be the different heat sources. So for heat sources, may apat yan. Mechanical heat, electrical heat, chemical heat, and nuclear heat. So first on our list would be electrical heat. So for electrical heat, it is the product of arcing, shorting, or all other electrical malfunction. So poor wire connections, too much resistance, a loose ground, and too much current flowing through an improperly sized wire are other sources of electrical heat. So when we say electrical heat, ito yung heat sources kung saan nanggaling siya sa mga electrical malfunctions. So yun lang yon. So the heat or the fire is as a result of electrical malfunction. Such as ang example niyan is yung current flow or yung electrical current na nagfo-flow doon sa electrical wire is hindi na kaya ng electrical wire. So beyond the capacity of the electrical wire yung nagfo-flow na electrical current sa kanya. So that is a good example of electrical heat. Next would be mechanical heat. It is the product of friction, the rubbing of two sticks together to generate enough heat is an example. So overheating of machines and compression of gas are other sources of mechanical heat. So when we say mechanical heat, ito yung halimbawa, pag pinagdikit mo, yung iyong dalawang kamay, pinagkiskis mo yung dalawang mong kamay, so mag-iinit yan. So that is a form of mechanical heat. Next would be chemical heat. So for chemical heat, it is the result of rapid oxidation. So diniscuss na natin last video discussion yung rapid oxidation. When we say rapid oxidation, it is a result of burning of a material or even from an explosion or combustion. So dito sa chemical heat, these are four chemical heat energies. So namely, heat of combustion, heat of decomposition, heat of solution, and spontaneous heating. So we will be discussing these four chemical heat energies. So first would be the heat of combustion. So for heat of combustion, the amount of heat generated by the combustion or oxidation process. For heat of combustion, this is also known as the heating value. So it is the amount of energy released when a substance is burned in the presence of oxygen. Next would be heat of decomposition. So for heat of decomposition, it is the release of heat from decomposing compounds. So these compounds may be unstable and release their heat very quickly or they may detonate. So for easy understanding, the heat of decomposition is the separation of chemicals. Unlike dito sa isa, which is the heat of solution, wherein the heat released by the mixture of matter in a liquid. So some acids, when dissolved, give off sufficient heat to pose exposure problems to nearby combustibles. So for heat of solution, ito naman yung combination ng mga chemicals. Unlike a heat of decomposition, it is the separation of chemicals. Last one would be the spontaneous heating. So for spontaneous heating, it is the heating of an organic substance without the addition of external heat. So, ang sinasabi lang dito kay spontaneous heating, it is a self-heating process. So, a good example is a charcoal. So, as we all know, charcoal is pure carbon substance. So, a carbon is a type of fuel. So, therefore, magkakaroon siya ng spontaneous heating once siya ay na-ignite na. Pag tayo ay nag-iihaw, di ba? Hindi naman tayo nag-a-add ng additional heat. Nagkakaroon na siya ng process of spontaneous heating kasi yung charcoal meron na siyang fuel substance which is yung carbon niya because charcoal is a pure carbon substance. So this occurs most frequently where sufficient air is not present to scatter the heat produced. So the speed of heating reaction doubles. So through its own reaction na siya. So, yung spontaneous heating, again, this is a self-heating process. The last one would be nuclear heat. So, for nuclear heat, it is the product of splitting or fusing, when we say fusing, combining of atomic particles. So, nahahati ang nuclear heat sa dalawa. So, namely, nuclear fission and nuclear fusion. When we say nuclear fission, these are splitting or separation of proton, electron, and neutrons to create energy or to produce nuclear heat. So through sa paghihiwalay ng mga protons, electrons, and neutrons, nagkakaroon or nagpaproduce ng nuclear heat. And for nuclear fusion, it is the combination naman of proton, electron, and neutrons to create energy or to produce nuclear heat. So thank you very much. That's all for today's video discussion. I do hope that you learned a lot from the dangerous behavior of fire, the different heat sources, and also what are heat of combustion, heat of decomposition, heat of solution, and spontaneous heating. So please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the professor, and hit the notification bell for you to be updated for my next upload. So thank you very much and see you on my next vlog.